Hey guys, hey, good evening. This is your girl Imani. How are you? Thank you for joining the Sip Soiree. This evening we have been having a lot of challenges. So my guest was on and she had to sign out and sign on and sign out and sign on, but I think she will be continuing to try to join me here so we can speak with her. But how are you? How was your weekend or your week? How was the past week? Did you have a great time? Did you see any of the snow that we saw up east? It was beautiful to look at from far, if you know what I mean. Uh, we we saw a lot of snow of this side, and it's still on the ground, but I am not playing in snow anymore, so I don't go out there and try to play in it. Up to a few years ago, I was playing in snow, but not anymore. So, how was it in your neck of the woods? As soon as you join us, please go ahead in the chat and tell us who you are and where you're joining us from, and maybe something about the weather where you are, so we know who is on. I'm very excited to present this this young lady to you guys as our guest today because she has a lot that you may be interested in, and I'm sure you would love what she has to tell us. And if you're just joining, my name is Evadne. You have joined the Social Sip Soiree from Eve McLilley Teas. You're listening to the music of Jimmy D, my handsome nephew in the background. And we have our guest. She did pop in. Imani, we have to give her a medal. She has been so patient with this technology issue that's going on and off and so on. But she's finally here, so I'm going to stop talking and give her a chance to introduce herself. Imani, welcome.
Thank you, Miss Eve. Thank you very much. Peace and
You're
abundance to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Could you just go ahead? I'm so happy you're patient to stick this out. And apology to the listeners or the people who are watching who are waiting to
Yes.
join for some time. We do apologize, but in the tech world, this is always going to be happening, always something. And so we have no control sometimes. So, Imani, can you just go ahead and tell these lovely people who you are?
Yes, it would be my pleasure to. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I am.
Wonderful. Yes. Hello, beautiful people, people of the planet Earth, for all you planetarians out there and lovers of life. My name is Imani Rodgers. I am a local Florida resident. I am a holistic practitioner and a singing therapist, hopefully soon to be music therapist, certified music therapist. Um, I am a lover of art, as you can see let's go this way, my self-portrait back there behind me. It's my first time painting one. It came out amazing. um, I do a lot of work with the community and for the community. I am, I guess, in the basic sense of the term, you could say a community activist. I do go into the community where there's a need. I do my best to fill the need, and if I cannot fill the need, I will find someone who can. Um, my goals for any and all communities are to promote healthy living mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, because all of the faculties of our being are intertwined. If one part of the body is out of alignment, then that part of the mind will be out of alignment. That part of the heart, the emotional settings, the energetic settings will be out of alignment. Um, so some things that I do for the community, I love children. I don't necessarily like to teach in the school system, but I love children. I do work on children's spiritual gifts. Some of them kind of pop out at me. I can tell just looking at a child, you can kind of see the age of the spirit, how wise they might be, and of course more to learn because in the body we have much to learn. Um, but yes, I'm just your all around healer, artist, I am a vocalist. I do love performances often. I'm available for bookings. Yes.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Can you just tell us a little bit about how you get started doing this?
Yes, it's my pleasure. Um, so I always retract to this memory of when I was about 5 years old. And along my spiritual journey, along my growth journeys, I have been in tune with some gifts, and some gifts of mine have been awakened within me in my adult life. And in this memory of me being 5, I remember we lived in Tallahassee and we were leaving church and we were heading over to the church's cafe. So like the church was here, well, the church was here, the cafe was like right next door. Like you could literally walk half of the parking lot to get to the cafe.
Hmm.
And in my memory, I just see myself looking up at who would be a very tall man for me back then because I was 5, so I was short. And I was looking up at him and I could feel vibration leaving my body as I was speaking to him, but I have no memory of what I said. I just remember him looking down at me in awe. And then he throws his cigar on the ground and snuffs it out and looks at me as if he just received the most prophetic something ever, in disbelief that this little tiny child could speak to him in such a way that he would just acquiesce willingly without force. And
Okay.
um, working aside from that, working on my music has become the portal to free me in my communication and allow me to be confident to communicate. So from that moment leading into adult life where I studied music for many years and I have not been around the world yet, but I'm getting there.
Hmm.
But studying music, being a public speaker and a writer are definitely those attributes that have brought me to where I am now.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And how far do you want to go with your music, especially?
I often pray that the entire universe will know my voice
Okay.
and receive love and healing. So wherever my voice can go, no
Okay.
limits, no lack, no limitation.
All right. So explain to us what is music therapy, because I'm sure that's kind of what is on everybody's mind.
Yes, yes, excuse me. Music therapy 101. So, to give you a brief corporate and then we'll get into the holistic. So, corporate, on the corporate side, music therapy is used as a stress management tactic to assist anyone who may be suffering from overly developed levels of stress. We mostly find this with people who have a mental, I'll say blockage. I don't believe in illness or deficiencies necessarily. They're imbalances that can all be cured and healed as long as the person is willing. So, people who have autism,
Hmm.
Down syndrome, psychosis, um, extreme depression, suicidal tendencies. These are the extremes of where stress can lead the mind, right? Not autism necessarily. Autism and Down syndrome are genetic. However, they can instill levels of stress in the carrier, the dominant carrier of those traits. And music therapy works in ways to redirect the body chemistry to teach the person to calm down and release stress and come to a level balanced playing field in the mind. Now, on the holistic side, it's a little different, I say. Just from what I've been with music therapy to prepare for my certification in music therapy versus what I already practice. So, on the holistic side, we do many things. We use singing bowls, we use tuning forks. If anyone has ever heard of a tuning fork, I left my tuning fork in my work bag. But it's a little fork. It's got two prongs on each side, and it's got a stem. You hold the stem and you take the mallet and you hit the prongs. Or if you get the tuning forks that have the symbols on each side, you just hit it together. And it creates a frequency, normally pretty high pitched frequency. These high pitched frequencies assist us in rebalancing the body chemistry. Miss Eve, are you there? Can you hear me? There you go. Okay, you're back. Yes. So with tuning forks and singing bowls, they use more higher pitch frequencies, some of them. Pitch frequencies for the body. If any of you are familiar with binaural beats or the frequencies on YouTube that you can listen to, a lot of those are created with the same instruments. The other part of the holistic practice of music therapy, vibrational healing, is where we get into the singing. So I used to teach voice. Maybe one day I'll go back. But the vibration, the voice, assisted with our breath work, right? Because we cannot hear sound without moving air, which is why when we go to space, there's not any sound necessarily because there's no moving oxygen, there's no moving air for the frequencies to be carried through. So while we're here, we use air in our breathing, right? As the air moves up and out of the body, the vocal cords hit one another as the air is moving. And depending on how fast or how slow they hit each other, determines the pitch, how high or how low the pitches are, right? So with singing therapy, what I do is it just depends on the recipient, what the person receiving healing may need. And there are
Mm-hmm.
other vibrational healers out there that do this work as well. Um, in my line of work, a lot of times I find that humming is very essential because of the resonance without words. The person can focus more on what they hear and feel. And sometimes they
Is
also
that
want to
why some
hum and
people
sing.
who are doing yoga do humming? Is that why some people do humming for
Yes,
yoga?
yes. So if you've ever heard right?
Mm-hmm.
Please excuse me. Is what is the sound that we use when we want to focus. We want to clear our thoughts, we want to become singular and be one with everything. So we use Om. Om. Now, on the technical side, this is how the Om helps the body. The it creates a space in the mouth. If you create that space, you'll yawn. Yawning is an
Oh,
identifier
because I
of
was gonna say
relaxation.
why Om and not something else. So yeah, I love
Yes,
the explanation
yes,
about that. Go ahead.
yes,
So on
yes. That
it's
O
only that
creates
the
space.
O, and it opens up your whole what's that, windpipe
Yes,
or whatever, for the oxygen to flow in, and the more oxygen that comes in
yes,
goes into your body, helps you to relax, right? So that's the whole idea. I didn't know
yes.
that. I know they say the Om, but I always wonder why not or something else.
Yeah, not because closes the vowel.
Mm-hmm.
You go straight to the M. Right? The O keeps you open. Right? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Great explanation, Mrs.
Nice,
Eve.
nice, nice, nice.
Yes.
I used to do yoga. That's why I kind of have a clue about that. But we never made sounds, so I just wonder. But tell us what's the importance of oxygen to our body for relaxation. Um, Demonstrate to us if you can. Typically, how you could use your breath to relax your body in any given situation, whether you're at work, on the train, somebody upset you, your boyfriend get you mad, or your mother-in-law or something. Just how in that moment you
Yes.
can gather yourself and get control of your emotion by using your breath? Just explain
Yes,
that to me.
yes. A lot of times we receive that we have to be in control of every situation. But once we take a moment to clear ourselves, it's not control, it's balance. To control ourselves, yes, we can. We can govern ourselves. We cannot govern other people because they have free will the same that we have free will. With the breath work, there are many, many things that the breath does for the body. For pregnant women, rapid breathing, right? Continuous flowing to release the muscle contractions while the release of endorphins in the body, right? This is what breath work does for the body. The breath, by inhaling, oxygen goes through the nasal cavity, down into the lungs, and whatever other elements are attached to the oxygen molecule. And once it's in the body, it's separated and pushed into the blood so that the blood can now circulate through the body the oxygen molecules to assist the cells in cellular regeneration, cleansing, and also mitosis, the duplicating of cells. You can receive oxygen by breathing, drinking water, right? Breathing near big bodies of water because water consists of two hydrogen molecules and an oxygen molecule. So when you're near big bodies of water like the ocean or big, beautiful waterfalls, whether they're man made or naturally made, just inhaling, you now feel at peace because your
Mm-hmm.
body has received an abundance of oxygen. Oxygen assists us with our brain function. For people
Mm-hmm.
who have trouble with focus and clarity, may be suffocating, meaning they're lacking oxygen. If we're snoring at night, that means that the airways are blocked in some way, not receiving enough oxygen for the breath to move freely through the nasal cavity down into the lungs and back out, right?
That could affect your focus.
Yes, it can affect the focus indubitably, which is why a lot of students have trouble in school
Mm-hmm.
because in some way they're not receiving enough oxygen to the brain. So when we're in tumultuous situations that trigger us emotionally or spiritually or physically or simply mentally, breathing in through the nose and then exhaling through the mouth, bringing the stomach in towards your spine. This helps to purify the body of toxins. This is the first step to relaxation because it removes what's not needed. Which is why, going back to pregnant women, it's incited that pregnant women practice breathing. When you work out, get a breathing rhythm, right? So that while you're building lactic acid in the musculature, you can continue to release because of the breath work, continuous breathing. That's why endurance runners can run for so long, not just because the body is fit, but they have constructed a breathing rhythm. So now
Mm-hmm.
their body is conditioned to be without oxygen for certain amounts of time, and when they receive just enough, it can keep going and going. In our testing situations, oxygen allows you to think clearly. In the holistic world, we call this self empathy, where you take a moment, you sit with yourself, even if you're being yelled at and somebody is cursing you out left and right, back and forth, up and down, all the way to Timbuktu and back. You have the power to choose, and breath
Mm-hmm.
helps you.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a beat, sitting in yourself, realizing what's going on, and then inhaling deeply through the nose, feeling the
So
being and
not through the mouth.
not through the mouth necessarily. Excuse me. When we're working to calm the body, you want to breathe through the nose. Breathing through the
Mm-hmm.
mouth is more like gasping. It's not breathing. That's a sign of panic.
That's shallow.
Yes, and it's shallow because
Okay.
it stops
Mm-hmm.
here. But when we
Mm-hmm.
breathe, we want the breath to be here. because the lungs sit here in the ribs.
Mm-hmm.
So when we breathe through the nose, exhaling deeply through the mouth, you
Mm-hmm.
allow the lungs to fill and fill and fill and fill,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Is that what
And
they call filling your expanding your diaphragm
in a
when you're?
way, in a way. So the diaphragm is more like a muscle. So these are
Mm-hmm.
the lungs, right? There we go. These are our lungs. The diaphragm is a bubble-like shape that sits right underneath the lungs, right? So when we inhale, it pushes all the intestines out of the way so that the lungs can fill fully. And when we exhale, it inflates again to compress the lungs to push what's not necessary out and allow the intestines and
Mm-hmm.
the organs to come back into place.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So breathing, proper breathing is essential.
It is. And proper breathing is really mindfulness. Again, going back to the control, we cannot control our breath. It is an involuntary action of the body. It is designed in our chemical and genetic and biological makeup to work on its own so that we can breathe.
Mm.
Mindful breathing, breathing with intention, is really the only proper way to breathe because we all have to breathe for what our body allows. There's no destination when it comes to anything with the body. Everything is a part of the journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
So practicing mindfulness, I am just breathing and here and present. And just like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Relax your body.
yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Great idea. Guys, I need to hear from you in the chat. I see Sheila joined us. She says interesting. She also said chanting. That must be when you were doing the Carmen Shekels Words was the first person here. Welcome everyone. We have some more people in the chat who on the live who did not identify themselves. Can you just go ahead, guys, in the group and say type your name in there. Maybe tell us where you're joining us from, what kind of weather situation is present in your neck of the hood. We have snow on the ground here in New York City still. The Florida lady, I'm sure she's going to say we have beautiful sunshine. And, and that's when I'm going to get really envious. You have joined the social Sip Soiree. My name is Ivadne, and I am with my special guest, the amazing Imani Rodgers. And she's taking us through some very simple but important things like what does it mean to breathe deeply? How important is it to be in control of the way we handle our breath or our breathing and what this does to our body? And if you didn't know, that she just explained how that oxygenates your body and it will relax you very easily, no matter the situation you're in, no matter who you're going to strangle, you could stop and with how many breaths do you think that person could take to calm themselves immediately? You're in traffic, somebody cut you off, and you want to go crazy. You're late and nonsense. What? How long? How many breaths do you think that person could take around the steering to calm themselves?
Very good question. I
Mm,
would say, please excuse me. I would say the slower the breath, the better,
mhm, mhm.
because breathe, doing things quickly boosts adrenaline. So if
Okay.
you take 3 to 5 really deep, slow breaths,
Should do the trick.
and counting is essential with breath work, especially if you
Okay.
need to calm yourself. So you breathe in on a 4 count, hold for about 7, and exhale on a 4 count.
4 in. So
Some do
right,
8, so 4 in,
and and 7.
hold for 7 or 8, We'll say 8 because 8 is
Eight.
infinite, so we'll say 8. And then exhale, bringing the stomach in towards the spine for a 4 count. And before they know it,
I am pretty sure after doing 2 or 3 of that, your mind would be off that.
you'll be completely. Who was that? I'm about to go
Yeah.
get some French fries. No French fries.
But you have to be really mindful and really in control of what you're doing to be able to do that. That's such
Yes.
great level of consciousness to be able to stop in that moment to take those deep breaths and do those counts. And that surely will take your mind off what just happened. So that's
Yes.
amazing. So we're gonna listen to some more music, and when you come back, you're gonna tell us something about some practical ways that you have used. You told me today about singing someone to sleep. I'm sure my audience wants to hear about that one. So stay tuned.
Yes.
We'll listen to some more of Jimmy D's music.
Excuse me for just a moment.
Huh?
Excuse me for just a moment.
Hey guys, hey. If you just join us in the Sip Soiree, I'm here with my guest. If you just took a little break, we listened to some music, and while we're listening, I show you my teas. So that's my fancy tea today. Yay! This is my detox tea. It's in the infuser, and I have some lemon slices of lemon in there to make sure I get that full detox experience, right? And the lemon, for some great reason, makes makes this particular blend taste really better. I'm not a great fan of drinking lemon in my tea, but I find that somehow it makes these teas, this detox tea, taste better. So I quite like it. And I quite like the idea of doing the herbs and the lemon together. And it tastes really good. It's not I don't sweeten, but it it tastes really great. The lemon gives it a really nice little flair that I quite like. And the warm lemon is good for your body. That whole process of helping to clean out your system as you go through the detoxification process. Lemon plays a big role in that, or it can, and plus you're getting a vitamin C from it. The detox tea has licorice, cinnamon, ginger, dandelion root, fennel, cardamom, coriander, star anise, and sage. So most of these you would recommend you would identify as very strong, great herbal teas in and of themselves by themselves. So having them in this blend is a really great um, idea and a powerful blend. Personally, when I drink these, I don't get hungry after drinking it for 2 3 days consistently. I am not hungry. So this also helps me. It doesn't just clean my system. It helps to get rid of cravings for me, so I can continue on my journey of controlling my weight or managing my weight. So yeah, again, the ingredients in this blend is licorice, cinnamon, ginger, dandelion root, fennel, cardamom, coriander, star anise, and sage. Very, very great with that lemon kick to it. Um, is there anyone here who has ever tried this blend? Anyone here ever tried the detox tea? Just come on and say in the chat and say something about it if you have. Cheryl Reynolds has joined from what is it, Thornton? Welcome, Cheryl. Nice to have you. If anyone has ever tried the detox tea, just go ahead and type it in the chat. Let us know what you think about it. But I think it is really awesome with the lemon. Do you put lemon in your tea? Huh? You do? Okay.
All the time.
Um, I didn't hear you.
Well, I put lemon in my tea all the time.
Okay, great, great. So I guess you like it. I was never a lemon and tea person, but I think it goes well with some of the herbs because I always feel like lemon just change the taste of whatever it is. So yeah, but
Mm,
it changed this one for something nicer. So that's a good thing. All right. So now that you're back, let me pause this
yes.
music because we all want to hear about your methods and just how you could treat someone. This is the COVID age, and we're talking about over long distances remotely, blah, blah, blah. So you do that, or you still do in person services?
I do both. I have not had a lot of excuse me. I have not had a lot of virtual requests.
Mhm.
Um, but I do get a couple from time to time. I was doing it more frequently the year before last year,
Mhm.
and I'm pretty sure it will pick back up as time progresses.
Mhm.
Um, excuse me. But I do both. I do in person, I do virtual, I do over the phone. Um, Most of the in person also includes some touch therapy as well,
Mhm.
um, because sometimes, well, I won't. Let's retract from that. I'll say this instead. In this society, this is a touch deprived society where we've been conditioned to not even touch ourselves.
Mhm.
We've been We've been trained to think that it's perverse to touch our own body, but
Mhm.
we are the first healer of the vessel that we live in.
Mhm.
And sometimes we don't always see the relevance and the importance of having someone touch our body for sexual perversion, for mental blockages, for
Mhm.
boundaries and restraints and discomfort that we've been conditioned to think, but it's really not what's within us. Those are other people's mindsets and calibrations of how touch should be.
Mhm.
I have met so many people around the world that come to Florida and they find out I offer massage and they're like, "Oh, they make you charge that much? Where I'm from, it's a requirement." And I'm like, "Can I go live where you're from?" Because it's so important. And other countries know working on the body is like cleanliness.
Mhm.
Healing the body is cleanliness, and cleanliness is close to godliness.
Mhm.
So when we can adjust and correct and repattern our vessel, then we'll
Mhm.
continue to get closer and closer
Mhm.
to the great one, right? Um, Sometimes I do have challenges with in-person clients because in my being, I'm like, I just want to sing to everybody, but that might not be
Oh.
sing to me.
So do you practice touch and sing together, or they're
Yes.
two different things?
Oh no, they go hand in hand. They work perfectly. Even in massage school, I would hum a little bit, but back then I wasn't fully practicing the singing therapy with
Mhm.
the massage work.
Mhm.
as I am now a couple years later. Um, but it really does a lot for the recipients to
Mhm.
hear relaxing melodies, whether I'm singing it or playing it,
Mhm.
and to feel some form of touch.
Mhm.
Because when we look at how the body receives information, when we're babies, when we come out of the womb, touch is so imperative for our longevity. How can we forget 20 years later what brought us here in the first place?
Mhm.
So doing simple things like we have something in massage called craniosacral, which is simply the cranial, which is the skull, the head, the crown.
Mhm.
So if this is the hip joint, the sacral bone, which is the tailbone that rests in between both legs, right at, let's do it this way. So
Mhm.
these are both
Mhm.
legs, so that joint right here, the very base of the
Mhm.
spine, which we
Mhm.
call the coccyx, is the tailbone or the sacral, which, if you study energy and you understand the chakras, seven of, we have chakras all along the body. Chakras are just energy wheels, little portals of energy along the body, and we identify seven of them, starting from the root and up to the sacral, which is where the sex organs lie. For the men, the prostate; for the women, the uterus, the ovaries, the testes for the men, right? This is where our character lies. This is where our confidence lies. That's the self identifier, the id, the ego grows in that area. And whenever,
In the area of your genitals.
right, because that's what identifies you as the being that you are. I'm a
Mm.
woman, you're a woman, so we're
How
identified.
how how does how do you relate um confidence with that? How do you place confidence there?
Because it's your character, right? So when you can self identify, when you can know yourself, then you don't have a need for a validation outside of you, right? You are knowledgeable. Self knowledge is the foundation of confidence, right? I know that I am a water spirit. I know that I love the ocean, right? I know that I love heat. I love fire, right? But if I were to say that I'm a blacksmith, it's not really a part of who I am, right? And even going into that realm, it's just like if you were to take an exam. You know what you know, right? You can answer every question that you know. You're confident because you have the knowledge of what that question is asking you and potentially what the answer could or should be,
Mhm.
right? So that area of character and identification helps us to build confidence. For people who have an overly active ego, very aggressive ego, very arrogant, unfortunately, sometimes narcissistic, they often have trouble in the low back area. They have pain in that sacral area in the low back because their sacral area is hyperactive, right? They're over dominating or being overpowering in their confidence, in their self identity, right? Craniosacral is an example of massage work that helps balance us. For babies, when babies cry, we either hold them on the shoulder with our hand on the head, right beneath the neck to prevent them from moving in odd positions,
Mhm.
and then right under the glutes where the sacral is to support their foundation, their root, right? And if they're still crying, you may see fathers hold the baby or mothers hold the baby like this, and both hands out like this. One hand beneath the sacral and one hand beneath the skull, beneath the cranium.
Mhm.
In massage, we do this, and it is so soothing, even for the therapist. Okay, sometimes I zone out and I'm like, come back, Imani, you're the therapist. But it's so relaxing to be held in these positions that we were held in when we began. And the more we can gain awareness of these parts of the body, you can do it to yourself. Sometimes when people are having anxiety, you'll see them grab the back of their neck subliminally. They may not know why they're doing it, it may just be a reaction. Subliminally, they remember this is a stress reliever. right? Or we grab our low back. Oh, I'm so sore. Let me just squeeze right here. But why do we do that? Because on the inside, our subconscious has all of these memories of these little tiny acts that assist us in releasing and recovering.
Oh, very interesting. Very, very,
Right?
very interesting. So tell us about therapy that you do that involves singing and who it can work for.
Yes. As I tell all my voice students, everyone can sing. You
Hmm.
just have to know how to listen. That's what I tell all my voice students. I tell all my friends, they're like, I can't sing like you, Imani. Baby, you can sing. You can sing whatever you want to, and you better sing like nobody's listening because it's
So
freeing
what
and
if the
it's
singing
so
wakes up the person
releasing.
instead of make the person relax?
Maybe they needed an adrenaline boost.
What if they find it so distracting that they can't sleep?
We'll have to redirect the singer to other modalities of healing at that point. um, I would say singing therapy is for everyone. And the reason I say that is because around the entire planet, if you just listen, still yourself, and just listen, everything is music. From the electrical currents moving through the wires in your home, to the birds chirping outside, the crickets singing, the hawks screeching over you, right? Every other country that I've experienced has prayer through song because they understand that the voice is a powerful manifester. Some may call it a portal. Some may call it the second womb of the body because we speak life. For those of you who practice, the Bible says the power of life and death is in the tongue, meaning you manifest, you speak your life into existence, and so shall it be. Others will say, so shall a man thinketh, so is he. And as you speak, what comes from the core of you is birthed into the world. So I say singing is for everyone, and singing therapy is absolutely for everyone um, because it allows us to be present and it teaches us patience, especially for those of us who don't practice singing on a regular basis, who may be extremely self critical of the way they sound in their own ears, even when no one at all is around to hear them. But the more and more you do it, the more comfortable and at peace you are within you. And then
Mm.
you begin to hear your own voice and recognize that you know who you are. And that's what I hope to do with the singing therapy work is one of my goals because I studied mass communications and I was in college as my minor.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the professor asked me when I signed up for the class, he looked at me, he's like, I see something in you. He's this African man. I can't remember what country he was from. His name is Dr. Tasso. And he said, why do you want to do this? Why did you choose mass communications? And I just looked at him. I just want to be a voice for people who have no voice. And he
Hmm.
looks at me, he goes, well said.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was my,
I love
yes,
that.
and that was one of the motives of the singing therapy. Because some people really enjoy, though they may not have a name for it, they enjoy vibrational healing
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
they enjoy feeling like they could sing it too.
So would you recommend that you sing to or significant other, not just our children, but sing to like they're stressed out and you're trying to calm them. You recommend that?
Yes, um, all of the relationships that I've been in, I sang to them. Even before I knew that I was a singing therapist,
Yeah.
before I before I knew I was study massage,
I
I
take it
just
nobody embarrassed you, so you continued. or you wouldn't care.
No one said, "Imani, you're flat today. Don't sing today." No. But I did. I would sing around the house. I would, and it just lifts the mood.
Mm-hmm.
When you study other cultures and languages and you see the indigenous people of the world and their choice of singing and what they use singing for, it's
Mm-hmm.
so exuberant. It just releases you. It just frees you from everything and brings you present and back to center.
So you're trying to break us out of the bathroom singing and throw us into the living room and the bedroom and everywhere else singing,
No,
liberated.
oh no, I tell everybody the bathroom is the best studio. Sing in the
You're trying
shower.
you're
Yes,
trying
there's
to
a message
liberate
in that.
everybody, take them out of the bathroom with it, and come
We
forth,
are-
come forth.
Yes, we are coming out of the matrix.
Start with your practice in the bathroom and then move it from there. So,
Yes.
you think that singing for an adult to help them to relax or to go to sleep is something very useful and something that they will find welcoming. In your
Yes,
experience, what has it been like
in my experience, it has
singing
been
for adults?
welcomed. It's just been because most of the time people don't know that when they get on my massage table, I'm going to sing them to sleep. And sometimes I don't even know. When I see them, I'm like, oh yeah, she needs a song today. No, he needs some silence. He needs to just, but that's all a part of the being empathic
Mm-hmm.
and being aware and reading. But it's just like when our grandmothers and our mothers hug us, rock us to sleep, lay us down in the bed, rubbing our back. Not always was it silent. Rather, there were soothing words, wisdom, loving words, caring words, or there was humming or singing, right? For those of us that originated in the diaspora, our ancestors created what we know now as Negro spirituals,
Mm-hmm.
as bedtime stories, to teach the children this is where we're going.
Mm.
Follow the drinking gourd,
Because I remember
right?
when when the kids were growing up, my nieces and nephews, and we used to just, or my small brother used to just rock them to sleep with a little lullaby. We used to call it a
Yeah.
lullaby. You just sing a little song, anything. But yeah, it would work. It would put them off to sleep. But I never tried that with an adult.
Well, excuse me. We were all children once.
Uh-huh.
There's nothing new under the sun. What worked then will work now. We
Uh-huh.
bathed the same way that we used to. We put on our clothes the same way, just without assistance.
Uh-huh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, do you have any question for Imani? Just type it in the chat so I could ask her. Pretty interesting conversation, Imani.
Mm.
Um, how do you conduct therapy over the phone?
So, very good question again. The same way that I do in person, just without the physical touch. Well, without me touching the recipient. So, of course, everything starts with breath work because we know breathing is the first sign to relaxation and the first step to physical healing in the body.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we start with the breathing, guided breath work, normally to a rhythm, just like we did our counting earlier, breathing in for 4 beats,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
holding and then exhaling for 4 beats. Right. In addition to the breath work, we also apply some asana for those who study yoga or body awareness. The body awareness keeps us present, keeps us
Mm-hmm.
focused while we're going through the trance state because breathing
Mm-hmm.
also puts us in higher levels of spiritual thinking,
Mm-hmm.
right? So in meditation, breath work is essential because it naturally elevates the body, right? So we do asana to start the focus on the body, starting with the feet normally, working our way up the ankles. What do the legs feel like? What are your knees doing right now? How do your quads and your hamstrings feel at this moment? Deeply inhaling through your nose Deep sigh release through the mouth. Bringing awareness to the womb of the body, to the prostate for the men, to the uterus for the women. Bringing awareness to the hip joints and the sacral bone of the body. Is there stiffness in this area? Is it relaxed and loose and comfortable? Inhaling deeply.
Mm-hmm.
Exhaling.
Girl, you're putting me to sleep here. I like it. I like it. So it means that you just like how people who do sex talks or whatever, and it is just as powerful or effective across the phone if they're not
Yes.
where their partner is. It's just the same thing with the whole massage therapy thing that you could do over the phone. You could walk someone through it. I could call you,
Yes.
I'm stressed out, I have, pain someplace and from stress, and you could literally conduct a session that walks me through, relaxes me totally, and let me fall asleep. Do you collect your money before they fall asleep?
Do I do what?
Do you collect your money before?
We do a deposit in the beginning.
Because when someone falls asleep, how do you get paid? We stay on the phone
Well,
until they
most of
wake
the
up.
time it's in person, so they pay. I wait for them to wake up. We don't interfere with the healing session, and then when they rise, guide them to the counter.
Typically, how long someone stays in that kind of sleep?
Excuse me. Um, well, most of the time for my public clients, we go to a healing location. So they're not exactly in their immediate comfort zone.
Hmm.
So they're aware once hands have left the body, I'll wait a few moments to kind of infer where they are on the journey because some people really need rest. And the only time they get that rest is when they go see a therapist. So
Hmm.
I've had clients that have stayed on the table for about 15 or 20 minutes after. Some of them just pay for the time. Sometimes it's just on the house because I understand. Um, Other times, I'll continue the guided breath work, especially if I receive that this may be a person who is enjoying the session but they seem to be focused elsewhere. So
Hmm.
that's when we guide breath work back, bringing awareness back into the body as you inhale deeply, exhale completely, and then we close with the asana,
Okay.
going back up and down the body. So now they're becoming more present in the body again. They've been on their healing journey, and now they're coming back into the present. For my intrapersonal clients, my close friends and family, sometimes I leave them on the table. Um, we had a healing retreat last year in February for a festival called 1619. It was so fun. I loved it. And I brought my table to our retreat house because I thought I was going to be offering massage and touch therapy and what have you. And it turned out that I was offering a lot more healing than just touch therapy.
Hmm.
And most everyone that got on the table became like this cocoon, this incubator of healing. And
Hmm.
everybody was exactly the same. They all had their own blankets and comforters. And you see, like, I remember going outside and meditating and coming back, and somebody was like so wrapped up in this huge comforter with only a hole over their face. And I was like, who's
Wow.
that? Yes, and it happened the whole week. It happened the whole week where the table, I understood that having an environment for healing for a lot of people is equivalent to having a space to sleep because for some of us our sleep promotes our healing, and if we haven't been incited to rest, we need that space. So I would just leave them on the table. They would be there all night, all day. Just okay, you got it. I'll pick up the table tomorrow.
Yeah, to get real comfortable in that moment of
Yes.
relaxation. That's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Do you dabble at all into sex therapy?
May you
Because
say
I would
that
believe,
again, please?
do you at all do any form of sex therapy? Because I would believe that it's probably the same thing to help
Sex
people to
therapy?
relax and blah blah blah.
What type of therapy?
Sex, yes.
I have not. I have been told that I'm a tantric healer by a
Mhm.
few elders in the community. They can see that energy and not necessarily intercourse. A lot of people see sex, and I'm so happy that we have sex therapists so that we can, well, because I wouldn't call myself a sex therapist, I haven't studied that modality, but I'm happy that we have them so we can teach that sex is not about intercourse only, it's
Mhm.
about releasing what energy, trauma, anxiety, worry, and pain gets built up in the sacral area of the body. Anytime somebody belittles you and calls you negative things that is not your name, if they don't call me Imani, but they call me something negative, if they don't see my worth, but they're able to manipulate and and desensitize me from having a barrier against trauma, right? Anytime anyone is receiving something that lowers their self esteem, right? So if you're in an abusive relationship, emotionally toxic environment, mentally straining anything, it affects the womb space, which
Oh.
is why women who are pregnant, we do our best to incite that they stay away from stress of all kinds because it causes trauma here. For men, especially. For example, men who work out a lot. Of course, we want to encourage everyone who works out to stretch. But people get hernias and they pull the growing a lot because of so much added weight, stress, and pressure, right? Sex therapy, I have not yet gone into sex therapy, but I have been doing womb work
Oh.
um, because it's so essential. And sometimes teaching others just how to put their hands. So the womb is at the base, right here where the
Mhm.
hip joint is. Just
Mhm.
putting the hands here and breathing and sigh release, right? Letting go of
Mhm.
everything.
Mhm. What does that do to your womb?
Well, the breathing on the science level, breathing assists us with our circulation. It helps the blood circulate
Mhm.
properly, balanced, fluidly, right? Oxygen deposits into the cells, assist the cells in mitosis, which is our cellular regeneration, which for the sacral area, meiosis, which is the splitting of sex cells, which make us who we are sexually, right? As a man or as a woman. The breath work assists us on the mental level in releasing what no longer serves us,
Mhm.
which means if we're lacking confidence, if we're feeling like we're being compared to someone in some way, if we've been abused verbally, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, the breath work, the inhaling to receive everything that we need for cleansing and healing, and exhaling to release. For the womb space, this is essential
Mhm.
because it allows us to just let go, to cleanse it away, to
Okay.
just let
Wonderful. All this information, very, 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 very good. I could listen
Thank
to it all day long. Persons who are listening, I didn't get any question from you guys for Imani. In these last few minutes before we wrap up, do you have any question? Do you have any comments that you would like to share at this time? Please go ahead and type it in the chat so we can see it. But very interesting conversation, Imani, and
thank you.
it's the kind of conversation that we need to have more often so we can understand, the spiritual side of our body, how it works, um, along with the physical. And so, yeah, we do appreciate this little talk. And you were based in Florida, but you said you could do some things remotely. Do you want to share your information here so that people can contact you if they want
Yeah,
to?
I would love
Uh,
to.
you could just go ahead and type it in the chat. Can you access the chat? Just click on comment in the corner, top right. I don't know if that's how your screen is.
It says comment, but it doesn't allow me to chat in the comments, but I can put it in the private chat.
No, you can't comment. So how come other people can comment? Do you treat people with MS? There's a question from Cheryl.
Yes,
Multiple sclerosis, I think that is. You do?
yes, yes. MS,
Okay.
one of the suggested modalities of healing is massage. Absolutely,
Mhm.
because MS directly affects your nerves, and you can have extreme pain when your nerves are disrupted. And there are things you can do as well if you have MS. Touch your own body, please. Speak to your body. Know what your body is saying to you by touching. Right? So
Mhm.
pretending this is the legs, because I know the legs are pivotal for MS. It almost attacks your legs. So let's
Mhm.
say this is the lower limb. There we go. This is the lower limb, the calf, and we'll say my bicep, tricep is your hamstring and quadriceps. Rubbing up towards the heart
Mhm.
increases circulation. So just start with the calf, rub up towards your heart, move up to the thigh, the front and back, hamstrings and quadriceps. I said that backwards. Quadriceps and hamstrings. Rubbing up, and if you can see, it's circular motions, right? To increase your circulation, to increase natural blood flow, up and up and up. And what you do to one side, you must do to the other, right?
Mhm.
And then speak life over your body. My body is healing. My body
Mhm.
is free. My body is releasing what it no longer needs. My physical touch on my own body is assisting me with my healing. So if you can't get to a therapist, you can do this for yourself as well.
Mhm. Okay, so um, repeat the number so I could type it in inside the chat.
My phone number?
Yeah.
Yes, when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Area code 407
4 0 7
697
6 9 7
5635.
5 6 3 5.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I got it.
Yay.
Okay.
Just in case, I put it in the private email.
Yeah. So, um, if anyone wants to reach out to you, they can contact you there. Also, you could say what your social media handle is so that they can contact you directly through social media.
Yes, and I will put it in the chat for you as well to copy paste. So my Instagram page is Imani Infinite Music, and my Facebook page, I have my profile where I do meditations. You can instant message me on Messenger from there, or you can also go to the music page as well. The Facebook profile is Imani Young Love, one word, spelled just like it sounds, Young Love Rodgers. And the
Okay.
page is Imani Music.
Okay. I got the Instagram information. So persons who want to engage Imani in further conversation about how she can help you, please reach out to her through one of these um, uh, platforms, and she would be happy to. So this is where you said you do something else. Your page.
Yes. Excuse me.
She'll be
Inhale
more
that.
than happy to consult, give you a consult, and
Yes.
get you healed
Yes. Remember, healing starts here.
in the mind.
When you see yourself healed, you tell
Okay.
yourself you're healing.
Hmm.
It starts here.
Does tea have any place in that whole relaxation and recollecting yourself,
Yes.
calming yourself? Tell me from your personal
Yes.
experience.
I am also an herbalist. I would personally say an herbalist in training because I know there's so much information I still have yet to learn, but
Hmm.
don't we all? Um, in my line of work, absolutely using herbs to assist in relaxation is essential. I was actually looking for my frankincense oil earlier when I got off the camera so I could get the voice to relax a little bit. Frankincense oil is very good for relaxation, for focus,
Hmm.
for protection. Lavender is the most popular. Lavender and chamomile, excuse me, are the two most popular for relaxation because both
Hmm.
of them chemically assist the body in releasing. Just to smell lavender is enticing. To feel chamomile, right? When you have a rash, when you have sores on the body,
Hmm.
chamomile, right? Which is
Yeah,
chamomile
yeah, I know.
roots
Chamomile,
to rub on
chamomile.
the body.
Yeah.
What'd you say,
And no, the chamomile story.
Miss E?
Yeah. And I find it
Are you there?
really. Yeah, I'm here. I'm hearing you. You're not hearing me? I'm hearing you.
I hear you, but you sound like a robot at the moment.
Oh, I have no clue why. I'm hearing you very well.
There you go. Okay, I heard you there.
Okay.
You were saying
So
something about chamomile.
yeah, I was saying that's such a relaxing, calming herb for your body. You have stomach aches,
Mm,
you have menstrual cramps, stuff like that. I used to use it a lot for that, and it used to relax my body. Just totally relaxes it and helps me to get rid of the waste
yes.
and to just get rid of the pain and nausea.
It does. It really, really does. And there are so many other herbs that we have and many people use and some are still learning about. Clove, right? If you've ever been to an Ethiopian restaurant, the tea that they give you is clove tea, right?
Mm.
Clove is so calming, it numbs your body literally.
Oh, really?
Yes, so if you ever had a toothache, right? Clove has a natural numbing agent. If you were to
Mm.
grind the clove and put the powder on the place where the pain
Mhm.
is,
Mhm.
it would numb and dull the pain until it
Mhm.
comes to a stop or a pause. Um,
Wonderful.
yes, yes, I would say tea is so essential in the relaxation process because we're ingesting the herbs. So now you've got the breath work. You've got the touch. Oh, yes. Touch my body, heal my body. And then you put those herbs in the body. Now they're going through the bloodstream. You're going to be on cloud 999 before you know it.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? You better start drinking your teas. Find the best teas that are suited for your situation, your condition, and start drinking them. Start your breathing. Breathe properly. Great oxygen to your brain and to your lungs. So that's yeah. Any more question for Imani? As we're gonna wrap up, you have her information here. Be sure to copy it down. Even if you don't need it today, somebody else might need it later. So make sure you keep it so you can refer her to your friend, your coworker. Somebody may ask, or you could be in a conversation and you just realize she could be helpful to this person and recommend her. That's what we're trying to do with those ladies, the entrepreneur, the business ladies, to network so that we can help each other to grow. So it's a beautiful thing that she accepted my invitation to come on here to talk about
Thank
what
you.
she does. The knowledge was invaluable. Is there anything you'd like to say to the audience before you end this conversation, Imani?
Yes, I would say take time to love you as much as possible because loving you means you love the God in you, the goddess in you. And that starts with taking care of the vessel. And don't be ashamed to touch your body when you are in pain because you may not be able to drive to the hospital or to the doctor or to a therapist, physical therapist, massage therapist. But you can listen to your body, become aware of what the body is
Okay.
saying, communicating to you. Yes, and also sing. Everybody should sing.
Are you gonna sing for us before you go, Imani?
I would love to. I would love to.
Okay, please do.
Well, since we're talking about breath work, hopefully this comes out right as I am just a tad bit congested. Excuse me. Since we're talking about breath work, this is I guess it's somewhat of a lullaby, but it's a melody that came to me while I was working on some clients a couple years ago, and it just stuck with me and it works. I even sing it to myself when I need to focus and recenter. So I hope you enjoy it.
Okay.
So, everyone, please take a moment to close your eyes. Inhale through your nose, exhale deeply through your mouth. Again, deep inhale through the nose. Hold and count to 3. Deeply exhale through your mouth, releasing all worry, anxiety, depression, stress, concepts that no longer fit within your being. And with eyes closed, staying focused, present in the moment, continue breathing. Breathe. 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 Inhaling deeply, exhaling completely. Breathe. Breathe. Breathe.
Ah, so nice. Love it, love it, love it. We have to bring you on back here just to sing for us.
You'll be honored to.
Thank you so much, Imani. Thank you. I'm going to send you some teas so that you could really get a taste of what our teas
Yes.
are like. Send you some samples, like yeah.
I have so many special mugs. I'm gonna choose the best one and send you a video.
Yes, sure. I love that. So yeah. So after you get off, you could send me your address, and I will mail you some samples um, for you to try out. And I think Charmaine Shuttlesworth was the first person on here this afternoon and identified herself. And Charmaine, I'm not sure if she's still on, but I will send you a present as well. You could choose between the tea and the castor oil. Um, Let me know which one you prefer. Alrighty. So take good care of yourself and thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for everybody for your participation. Whenever you watch this video, whether it's tonight or tomorrow or next year or next week, please share it because I think the information here is very important, and it's worth sharing with your friends and family members and coworkers and so on. And also, if you know anyone who could benefit from Imani's beautiful service of relaxation and singing, please cue her in and make sure she gets some business. We're trying to network and to lift up each other as we go along. So,
That's right.
this beautiful lady down in Florida, when you go to Disney, you could book a time with her to go get your in-person massage, or if you're in the Florida area at all. But all in all, it would be a wonderful thing for someone to experience what you just described to me as what you give in a therapy session. So nice having you. Very impressed with your work, and I hope that you will come back another time, Imani.
Yes, Miss Eve, thank you for seeing a light in me to share that light with the world. I am so grateful and appreciative, and it would be my honor and my pleasure to come back to your show whenever you want.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We will be in touch. God bless
Yes.
you. Thank you, guys. Thank
Peace
you,
and love,
one and
everyone.
all, for being here. We're gonna go out with some music from Jimmy D. Okay, so she's amazing. Just the way you are. Some of us taking the singing from the bathroom. We're breaking out. Remember, guys, you're beautiful. You're amazing. Drink your tea. Drink your tea. Alrighty. God bless.